Hello, this is Marsha Whitfield, the Rolling Realtor. Welcome to my new series, Team Tuesdays, where I'll be interviewing different agents and other industry professionals, highlighting their expertise to bring you some interesting and valuable information. So for my first video, I decided to interview someone who I have a ton of respect and admiration for. And, since I started working with him, he has been an unwavering source of support and encouragement, as well as a vastly knowledgeable teacher and mentor. And that is my managing broker, Alex Saltalamacchia, also known as Salt.
That's me.
That's him. So let's get started. My first question, obviously, is how long have you been in the real estate business?
That's a great question to start with. I started my career back in 2002. I had just left the insurance industry. Originally from Brooklyn, New York, and my business partner at the time had been involved in real estate in some capacity and was noticing a lot of the different changes that were happening here in Williamsburg specifically. He actually grew up here in Williamsburg. And he asked if I'd like to come take a look at what was going on. I was from South Brooklyn. We consider Williamsburg North Brooklyn, so I didn't really know much about this area. And when I got here, I was overwhelmed and blown away by what was happening. The types of folks that were coming here from all parts of the city and, quite frankly, the country and even the world. So I had made a decision to leave my 401k W-2 insurance job and embark on this real estate career, and that was back in 2002. Yeah.
Awesome, great. And we are in your office right now.
We are.
We've got some things behind us, family pictures and whatnot. And you've been in this office for a long time through a few different changes.
Indeed, a very long time. I think, and I should probably know this, but I think we officially moved into this office back in 2007-ish. We had a few smaller offices, always in Williamsburg. North 3rd would be our first office, 63 North 3rd being the exact address. There's a couple different studios that we had moved from, Studio 5, Studio 4, and then ultimately landing here at 42 Driggs. And you're right, yeah. I've been a part of now 3 different companies, sitting in this very chair, at this very desk, with those very couches that you can't see behind the camera.
Right.
Starting at apartmentsandlofts.com, which is the first company, City Habitats, which acquired apartmentsandlofts.com in 2015, and now as of last week, Tuesday, the Corcoran Group.
Right, right, yeah. So big changes and very recent changes as well.
Definitely.
Well, thank you for all of that.
Yeah.
So I know, well, you just told me your story, so there you go. We're done. There's more I know, but we're not going to cover that today.
We'll be here for a very long time.
So you've been in this business a long time. What do you really most enjoy about the real estate business and working?
It's changed over the years, but early on when I was an agent in the field, if you will, it was just a totally different experience. It was different than sitting behind a desk, which I do now, and having a set plan of what was required for you to do. Getting into real estate, you're meeting new people every day. You're talking to new people every day. You're putting yourself in uncomfortable situations a lot of times because you don't know who it is you're going to speak to or meet, where they're from, what their background is, how much money they make, all these different things that you need to ask them about, ultimately. And I found a lot of enjoyment in that. I was meeting different people, like we talked a little bit about earlier, from all around the world, something I was never really exposed to. So it was fun. And the neighborhood was evolving and it was changing. And for the most part, I was dealing a lot with folks that were right around my age, maybe a little bit older at the time, but not quite, not many years older than me. So there was that immediate connection and immediate synergies. And they were attracted, the folks I was dealing with were attracted to me and my story. And I was always like, wait, I'm just a kid from Brooklyn doing this real estate thing. Your story is so interesting to me. You're moving from Paris to New York for the first time, or you're moving from, Wisconsin to New York for the first time. So it was an interesting dynamic how we would connect on those levels. And that's what I really enjoyed. Fast forward, segueing in from an agent to a manager, it changed a little bit, right? So now my client was the agent, right? It was up to me to ensure that my agents were happy, My agents were successful. My agents had everything that they needed from me, from the company. So the dynamic changed. But it was always about building and cultivating relationships, whether it be with, and I hope I'm not jumping ahead.
Go ahead, please.
Right? But it was always about, how do I connect with people? How do I get people to trust me? How do I get people to believe in my messaging? And I believe that if I was able to get folks to believe and trust in me, then I would be successful. And that's the same messaging I, send to my agents as well. We're in a relationship business. We're in a business that's really based on hospitality more so than anything else. And if you get people to trust and believe in you, then ultimately you should be successful. And that's a very simplistic way to put it. For sure, it requires hard work, dedication, long hours, trials and tribulations, figuring things out, because it's just an ever-evolving industry that we're in. So you won't have an answer to every single thing at every single moment, but I think if you just follow those guidelines, hey, I'm going to be honest with people. I'm going to really try to do what it takes to ensure that they get the place they're looking for, the home they're looking for. Then I believe that the business follows that.
Yeah. And I know that you do live that every day as my manager.
I try to.
You do. I mean, you definitely do focus on relationships, and you have imparted that knowledge onto us, or that experience, that message for sure. And it's made a huge difference to me. I'm also very relationship oriented.
Absolutely.
But it's been a big help and a really good way to go at this business in particular, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
With all the things that are out there related to real estate, it's definitely a really nice way to go at it, in any business, really.
No doubt about it.
Any business.
Any business, for sure.
Yeah.
And sometimes we get pigeonholed as doing a job that's very easy. We're just door openers, or, there's all these new programs on television, well, I sound like a boomer. Okay, boomer. Shows on TV that maybe glorify what we do,
Right.
So, but it is a difficult job, and it is a job that requires time, effort, energy. When we talk about it with new agents specifically, but also with any agent that's been in the industry even for a long time, you need to view this as you're starting a business, a business within a business. So if you were starting a coffee shop, a shoe store, whatever it is, you got to put in the time, you got to put in the effort, you got to try to expand your reach and get in front of as many people as possible. Right. So it seems simplistic, and a lot of times the theories are, but it's not always easy, But if you're willing to put in that work and put in that effort and surround yourself with good people, right, internally, externally, etc., then I believe there's no reason why you should be successful. Now, it doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes it does, get lucky, but you got to take it day by day. Every day is a new day, and there are these mini victories along the way that an agent should focus on. It's not necessarily how do I get from A to commission.
Right.
There's all these different things in between that you can look for and look to and go, wow, I was able to convert a phone call into a lead, into an appointment, into an application, potentially into a deal, whether it be for sale or for rent. So there's all these little things you should take a look at as well.
Yeah, no, that's great. And just like you said, cultivating over time too. Yes, some things can happen really quickly, but cultivating relationships, that takes time.
Absolutely.
And can be so rewarding in the long term as well.
And heartbreaking too at times.
True. Yeah, I've had both, right? I've had the short term, you make that relationship, you rent someone an apartment, you sell them a home, and that can last long term. And then, like you said, sometimes heartbreaking as well. But yeah, really
Definitely.
Nice, really great. So yeah, you've answered a lot of my questions already, which is great. I love it. Organically, you're on it. So now I'll ask you sort of like a personal question related to all of that. Well, just what ways has doing all that real estate helped you develop and grow personally as a person? I know it's helped you professionally, obviously, and those aren't separate, right? They're connected.
Absolutely are.
I'd love to hear for you how that's affected you.
Yeah, so it may sound corny, but now it's about, and we touched upon a little bit, how do I get people to believe in what we do? Right? How do I get people to believe in what I'm saying? Because I'm not in the field anymore. I haven't transacted in real estate in a very long time. But where I find I get my reward in this business is when agents like yourself come into this business, whether it be brand new out of a real estate school or from another company like you did, and you see that putting in the effort and the work and the time and all that stuff actually then potentially turns into that reward financially, right? But again, this is where, and it sounds so corny, so I apologize. This is where it's rewarding for me.
Yeah.
Seeing my agents come to the office happy, smiling, engaging, understanding that even though we're in a sales business, that we're a team, and we try to operate this office specifically. And I'm sure many offices are like this, like it was a small mom and pop. We work for a very large company, a very profitable company, with the best tools, resources, trainings, and all that. However, we try to take it down to a more granular level where we're a team here, and that stuff is going to spill out into the street. The clients that come in, the customers that come in, the landlords, the sellers, the buyers, etc. And that's my biggest reward. That's what I look forward to each and every day.
Nice, that's great. Thank you. That's so beautiful. I love it. So that's great. Like I said, you've answered pretty much all of my questions.
Wow.
Organically, so it's so great. And there's something I was going to say, but I do want to thank you for your time.
It's my pleasure.
I really appreciate you taking the time to sit and chat with me and just, share your experience, because what I hope to do with these videos is really share a broad range of experience from different people, because even in this office, each person I could do this interview with.
Absolutely, right. And you probably get different answers every single
time. Exactly, yeah, and it would be great. So I'm just sort of building that resource for people watching, and also that here's the guy who's the leader of my team in this office, and I really appreciate your time, and thank you.
That's absolutely my pleasure. Thank you very much for asking me to be the first one to do this with you.
Yeah.
So hopefully it was everything you had hoped for and more.
It was more.
Great.
Have a great day,
Awesome.
everyone.
Thank you.
See you next time. Peace.